Oh, hello everybody. I want to give you an update on this Heathkit TA-17. I'm sure most of you saw my videos when I was away. Had a really great time out in California and really enjoyed it. But it's back to work for me, so back to the routine. So while I've been away from this project, I had to give it some thought and really where I am. So let me just update you from the last video. You'll notice that I did populate the entire board. And there it is. It's all populated again. If you remember, I had stripped it. And all the wires are connected and everything has been verified 3 and 4 times. And I also ended up redoing this entire power section, if you recall. On the last video, this was completely gutted. And I added new diodes, replaced this. We had some char underneath this power switch. I fixed all that, did it very neatly. Reinstalled a circuit breaker here. You could see it right there. I actually have a spare one so you could see what I put in there. So this is what I put. It's a 3 amp circuit breaker. So I've got that installed right there in the back. I've replaced the jacks with 1/4 inch, and I've got everything checked 5 times, and everything is exactly where it needs to be. However, when I powered it up for the first time, I've got exactly the same problem I had last time. So I went through all that work, replacing every component essentially. I've got exactly the same issue. Fluctuating voltages, which the light bulb went off this morning. So I watched John from Arkansas's video on his airline radio, his Montgomery Ward, and he had some transformer issues, which weren't able to hold the load. And the light bulb went off and said, I wonder if I have the same problem. So it ohms out great, right? Over here I've got a center tap. Over here, this is my 60 volt rail, and that's the rail that I have the problem with. And I've ohmed it all out, and it all looks good, but so did John's. So that tells me that I'm going to have to test out this transformer. Now, I didn't have to repair it. It was never broken. I never cracked the case on it. However, with the problems that I'm having, I'm thinking I may have a really weak transformer. So I had to make a command decision. I've been working on this thing since February. And you know, sometimes when you work on these things, the best thing you could do is put it away for a while and come back to it. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this off the bench for a while, not forever. And I'm going to give it some thought. One day I'll rip out the transformer and put it under load and test it just like John did, and see what's going on. And I think that's what I'm going to end up doing here. So I'm going to put this one to rest, but I do have another project that I want to spin up, and I'm actually going to let you decide which one it is. So let me get that set up, and then we'll make a decision. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's choice number 1. This is a Harmony model H400. It's a 25 watt amp guitar amplifier made by the Harmony company in Chicago, Illinois. And as you can see, the case is in decent shape. Wasn't an expensive amp when it was new, but it does have a Jensen speaker in it. And it's got some tubes up there. I haven't plugged it in yet. I understand it works, but it's got a loud hum. So we all know that that means filter capacitors. And you'll see the tube layout here, if we can get it. Nothing special on this one. It's got a standard layout. It's got a little schematic, etc., etc., etc. I haven't really done much research on this to know what year it is, but I think it's from the 70s. So that's option number 1. So let me just show you around the case a little bit more. And you'll see the grill cloth needs some work, and it probably needs to be cleaned. The Tolex is actually in really good shape, so I probably will just glue some of it down. So that's project number 1. Have no idea what it needs done. Let's look at project number 2. Here's project number 2. So this one you're going to cringe at. So this is an Atwater Kent model 854. Okay? Now, this was the very second radio that I started to work on. When I first started working on radios, my first one was a Philco 84, which I was able to complete. And then I got this one. And this one had 100% rubber wires. If you remember, in the 40s, they tried their hand at rubber wires and it really didn't work. Well, when I got this one, every wire was bad. There was no insulation left at all. And I took the time to start to restore it, and I got to a very certain point, and then I put it aside because something else came along. Well, let me just show you what I've done so far. And just like John, when I started this one, because that's where I learned it from, I went wire by wire, and you'll see that the orange has faded to yellow. And I filled most of this in, did a lot of this, and then I kind of stopped. And there's really only a few things missing. So if I really put my heart to it, I could just add a few components and be done. But that's not what I'm going to do, and I'll tell you why. I don't like the way I did this. I didn't know a lot about this when I started this radio. Like, look at this mess. Solder joints are crappy. I don't like the way this looks. I don't like any of it. I know I can do a much better job today if I started over. So, if I choose to do this one right now, this is going to be a complete rip out and restart. Okay? And I'm going to do it the right way. When I was working on this radio initially, I was under the impression that you had to put everything back the same way it was. So I was using these archaic standoffs. This one here, I could have used terminal strips. Here's one that I tried to put together. I've got, capacitors just hanging in the breeze here, grounds, that kind of thing. I did test the coils, and I know that the coils are good. I also had to rewire the entire transformer. The wires inside the transformer were all rotted. So I did rewire the entire transformer, and I know that it worked back then. I tested the resistance. I've also cleaned the tuner, and the tuner is in great shape. I've cleaned up these cans, and these are the original electrolytic cans, which are empty at this point. So I've got the tone switch here. It's all been cleaned. Really just got to put this thing back together, but I'm going to rip it apart. So you choose what you want to do. Let me know. This is Ron. Thanks. Oh, just one more thing. I am going to end up working on both, but you let me know which one you want to work on first. So I'll take a look in the comments, and we'll decide what to do. And I am going to get back to the Heathkit at some point, and of course I'll post a video on that. So I'll be awaiting your comments, and whatever gets the most votes is what I'm going to work on. So it's either this Harmony guitar amp right here, or it's this Atwater Kent 854, which I'm going to do a complete rip out and restart. Okay? It's up to you folks. Thank you. This is Ron. Bye. Also in the comments, if you pick the Atwater Kent, if you want me to do a step-by-step restoration, kind of like John did, it's really kind of the same thing, right? Wire by wire. Just let me know and I'll do it. Or I'll just do it on my own and just update you as you go along. So this is really for all you guys. All right? Take care, folks. Thanks. This is really the last one.